Now this one, let's just pop it carefully. It's a bit longer than the other ones, and again, it doesn't have any sort of little artefacts to go with it. Carthage, 4th of December. Carthage, that's on, I suppose, modern day Tunisia, I think, the top end of Africa. Darling Gerald, the crossing, yes, there was an ink smudge there, across the Mediterranean was eventful. Once bitten, twice shy. I took the precaution of eating raw garlic and onions to deter the detentions of the captain, should he entertain any funny ideas. What's she saying there? Yeah, if he wants a sneaky snog, he's going to be put off by her reeking of raw garlic and onions. I think anybody would be put off, wouldn't they? I'm not altogether certain that he did what? Oh, entertain funny ideas. But I suppose that isn't the inherent problem with prevention. You can never know for sure what you prevented. Quite so. However, my diet did pay dividends. We were attacked by pirates. I can assure you that they weren't in the least bit romantic. I don't mind admitting I was scared. Among my fellow travellers was a young child called Narendra, who appeared to be travelling accompanied only by his tutor. Having spent much of the voyage alone, for obvious reasons, I had not the opportunity to get to know young Narendra. Well, would you credit it? His despicable tutor was actually one of the pirates, and they'd all planned to kidnap Narendra and demand a high ransom for him from the Sultan. Where are we? Hang on, let's turn over. There we are. Narendra and I hid in an old sea chest. The situation has to be dire indeed for someone to be willing to remain in a confined space with me for any length of time. Fear has a regrettable effect on some people, and poor Narendra's brow suddenly became unusually active. You smell funny, I complained. Narendra looked resigned and muttered, That's not funny. I knew then that I'd met a kindred spirit, and that I must give all that I have to protect this child. It was not long before the pirates winkled us out of our hiding place. Strangely, they were unwilling to approach us, and gesticulated, move things with your hands, that we should board a small boat that they proposed to drag behind the main vessel, behind the big boat. Having no better ideas, we consented. The night was cold, and little Narendra cuddled up close and fell into a fitful sleep. I had to plan our escape. I could hear the drunken, triumphal singing of the pirates. I waited until they had fallen asleep, and I managed to climb back aboard. I stole a punt gun and some provisions. Do you remember that small penknife that our governess once gave me? Actually, now I've come across that somewhere. I'll see if I can dig it out for you later. I've always kept it in the pockets of my knickers. Thank goodness I did. I whipped it out and slowly cut the rope that attached us to another ship. By dawn we drifted off. Well, that's not surprising. It's never been sharp, that knife. Hang on, let's turn you over again. There we are. It was then that I realised I had no way of knowing where we were going, and no way of propelling ourselves even if we did. Taking responsibility for Narendra completely changed my priorities. As the sun gently rose, I noticed small birds flying across the sea. I assumed they were migrating south to Africa. So I lay down, face first, put my hands over my side, and paddled with my hands. The sea, winds and currents were all with me. Narendra awoke and kept a lookout for me. When we spotted land, we fired the punt gun to alert the authorities and went shooting backwards, and then had to frantically paddle to return back to our original position. Where are we? If this was a story, the Sultan would have been so grateful that he would have lavished gifts upon me for the safe return of his son and impeding the pirates, stopping the pirates, or getting in their way. Alas, the truth is less glorious. I had unwittingly stopped the local police from catching the pirates. It was all an elaborate deception, a big lie. Narendra was not, after all, the Sultan's son, but a fisherman's boy who had a passing resemblance to the Sultan's son and was being used as a decoy. Where are we? Hang on a sec. I had obstructed the security services, but eventually managed to convince them of my innocence. Instead of being hailed as a heroine, I found myself, and Narendra, thrown unceremoniously onto the street. One task remained, to reunite Narendra with his family. We caught the bus and arrived late that night. My reception was convivial, friendly. I was given a supper of these long strips of fish, fried in breadcrumbs, and offered a bed for the night. But I thought it wiser to spend the night in a fisherman's boat. You know how unfamiliar food can affect me so. Ooh. Now that would be alarming, wouldn't it? In the small hours, I felt this small, warm body cuddle up to me. It was Narendra. Had this been a story, I would have adopted the boy, and we would have explored the world together, tooting our way from one continent to the next in our mutual search, doing it together, mutual, for gastric calm. A lady must always use euphemisms. But this isn't a story, and the next day I left Narendra with his family to continue, there's another blot there, to continue my quest alone. I do recommend that you explore the manufacture of those fish fingers. What fish fingers? Oh yeah, there's those strips of fish in breadcrumbs. I sincerely think they have commercial potential. Send the profits to Narendra's parents. Your loving sister, Edna. She's definitely got a business head, hasn't she? Quite the entrepreneur. I wonder what do you think is going to happen next? I don't know. That was quite unlikely, really, wasn't it? See you soon.